happening. Don't watch it on 1080p. Oh well, no, it's working fine on 1080p now. Yeah, I don't know,
Yeah,
man. I'll chalk it up. So we're good.
okay.
We're good. We're live. It's showing it. So we can go ahead and move on to some of these little topics here. So I put the first one up as the MSI Vortex.
Yeah, what do you think of the Mac Pro look here
That's
on the
what I was actually
PC?
gonna say. I was like, this is just like a freaking, and they got like the custom GPU, a custom CPU in there. None of the parts are going to be interchangeable. It's a Mac.
I know. I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the whole reason that people like PC over Mac is because it's PC and not
And
Mac.
you can change something, but this
Yeah,
is like locked down.
yeah. That's what I'm saying right now. It's like it's kind of weird how they're gonna go for that. I mean, how much are they saying this is gonna cost? Like within the thousands of dollars, right? If I'm correct.
Yeah, there's two models listed on Newegg right now. One's 2200 and one's 4000. The 2200 one is a 6700K, 16 gigs of RAM, 1 TB hard drive, 256 SSD, Windows 10 Home, and it looks like it's using dual 960s and SLI.
Dual 960s for
Yes,
like their top tier model is gonna be just dual 960s.
and their top tier model is dual 980s
Dual 980s.
with 8 GB. So
Okay.
it's a different 980. It's an 8 GB 980 because there's
Oh,
16
okay.
gigabytes total with between the two. So and then it's a different 960 too because it's a 3 GB 960 because I've seen twos and fours for sale, but I've never seen a three. So they must be using some special GPU, or maybe that's no, it's not an M. I thought it might be a 960M, but it's not a 980M or a it's GTX 980 SLI
Well,
GTX 960 SLI.
if you look at it with it blown apart, let me find that picture. You can see that it's a custom GPU
Hmm.
and a custom
Oh, okay, I
CPU.
see that. Yep, yep.
Yeah, so it's like when it's blown apart, you can see that there's literally not going to be really anything interchangeable in this.
Nope,
It's
nope.
going
It's
to be
locked down.
yeah, it's going to be a fully customized system like built for this, like you know what I mean? And that's why I was kind of like, dude, and they're charging as much, well, but maybe a little bit less than a Mac Pro, you know.
Hmm.
As far well, what how much does a Mac Pro cost? I've never looked at one.
They start probably. I'm guessing at that 2,000, and I've seen them go to $9,000-$10,000 when you deck them out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's probably gonna have like an X99 platform in it, huh?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think the Mac Pros are. Oh, they might be X79. Let me see
X79.
here. What was it? It's a. I think it's 2014 Mac Pro. Wonder is that what it is? Okay, here we go. We'll just. If you want to
Yeah, but
keep
that's
on
probably gonna
talking,
have
I
like.
will dig up the old Mac Pro and see what they're offering.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely.
I've seen a Mac Pro though. They are beautiful. I will give it that.
Yeah, no, they look nice. Oh, yeah, and especially with this, that's what the kind of design it was like, exactly like this, a little black cylinder tower. That's basically what the Mac Pro was. So I
Okay,
mean,
yeah, here we go. It's a let's see, it starts at 3 grand.
hmm
It's a Xeon quad core,
okay,
12 gigs of DDR3. Yep, this is X79, and
okay,
then AMD Fire Pro dual graphics, and then it goes up to $4,000 on here anyway with a 6 core Xeon and 16 gigs of RAM. But when you start changing the PCIe storage, well, that's where yeah. Oh shit, they offer a 12 core Xeon in it.
I was gonna say only the 6 core one. That seems a little low compared to like the things that Intel offers and the pricing that
Yep.
Mac likes to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just maxed it out and it came out to 95.99.
90. Wow, for the 10,000 one.
Yeah, $10,000.
Oh
Yep,
Jesus.
it's a 12 core Xeon, 64 gigs of RAM, 1 TB PCIe storage, and dual AMD Fire Pro D700s. So it doesn't that little beats the MSI one there just a hair.
Well,
10,
well,
almost $10,000.
Well, yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, it's double the price. But you also have to think. I mean, honestly, that $4,000 one is actually what I would consider a better deal. It's gonna,
Oh
as,
yeah,
not
yeah.
as far as compute process though, but as far as gaming, you got two 980s and SLI.
Hmm.
Comes with a nice SSD. It's a PCI SSD, so it's gonna be
Hmm.
super fast. 32 gigs of RAM, and a powerful quad core. You know what I mean? So that'll handle most of your editing and gaming needs without an issue. But yeah, no, yeah, that's how I felt about it. I was like, didn't Mac already do this? So, and the fact that it's non-customizable, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
That kind of hurts a little bit. It's hard to see that in the PC community. You know, maybe in
Yeah,
the Mac it's
once you
acceptable.
buy this, you're done.
Yeah, no, definitely. Alrighty, so we can move on to our next one, which is the other one you chose, which is the dual G. So I saw a few of this, and I'm glad that you brought one up because I might have forgotten if you didn't. But yeah, I'll let you start on it.
Sure, yeah. I actually saw this from another YouTuber, and I thought it would be interesting to talk about. But yeah, we have a $1,500 dual GPU AMD card. It's basically two Furies together.
So a
But
295X too.
yeah, yeah, essentially, yeah, yeah, and
Same price
got
tag and everything.
got the HBM memory, but it's still another one. It's only 4 GB per chip.
Yeah, I saw that. I
Okay,
was actually
yep.
gonna say, is that gonna be to where they can combine it? Because it did say something.
Oh,
I don't know where it was, and I can't remember exactly how they worded it. Um, but they said something that. Ah, fuck. What was it? I should have kept the article I was reading. This was like earlier this week. I was reading an article on it. Um, but they were saying it's gonna have split between two GPUs running at one. It says substantial for bus bandwidth. Where does it say?
I
8
did
gig
see
high
that though, yeah, where they were going to try to get it to where they can
They
share
work
it the
together,
same.
yeah.
Yep, yep.
Well, it says high bandwidth memory split between two GPUs running at 1 gigahertz. So I was thinking because they said split between two GPUs
Hmm.
instead of saying like 4 gigs per each GPU. Well, I mean, it's technically the same, but the way it was worded makes me think, and I hope to God they're going to make a card this powerful. They're going to think that more than 4 gigs of RAM is needed.
Oh, especially and is expensive. It's
Yeah.
powerful and expensive,
Yeah.
but you see, it takes three 8-pin PCI
Uh
Express
huh.
power connectors.
Yeah, it's going to be power hungry as fuck.
Oh man,
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I would hope that 8 gigs or 4 gigs of memory isn't what they're aiming for this because it's not going to work if it is.
man, I was kind of surprised they were able to get it into. Oh, I guess it's a fatter radiator though too than the single GPU version of this. It's the radiator is
It's gonna be
thicker,
like an
so.
XL.
Yeah, it looks like an XL. Yeah, it looks. Yeah, so that's what they're doing. Because I was wondering how they get it in a single 120, but that's because it's a thicker 120.
Yeah, they made the cables really long for it too because it
Hmm.
reaches from the back of the card.
Yep.
Because they didn't want clearance issues from it
Hmm.
coming out where the original one came out of, where the Fury X comes out of. So I mean, like I said, it's a really cool design, a really good idea, and AMD's 295X destroyed pretty much any graphics card that was
That it
out at
did.
that time. Yeah, it also destroyed everything as far as power consumption as well.
Right.
Um,
Imagine putting two of these in your system.
yeah. So I mean, but that it's cool that they got the 220-watt load under average. Was that typically? Oh, so it's gonna be a 450-watt. Yeah, that's gonna be
Yep.
a
Yep.
monster.
Can peak as high. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But they're saying here it's shorter than a GTX 980 Ti. So I mean, it's pretty compact
Yeah, no, definitely.
for the power.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's what I'm saying. They came out with the 295, which had 8 gigs of usable memory, and outperformed pretty much anything for the time. This better have 8 gigs of memory because 4 gigs of memory is not going to be enough when you release basically a dual GPU solution. I mean, if you run two 960s and SLI and try to play at higher resolutions because you have more horsepower, you're going to run out of memory.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that's what'll happen with this too if they didn't up the memory. So we won't know more until they tell us. So that's just how it's going to go. I did like how they made it smaller. The 295X was huge. That thing was a fucking long ass
Yeah,
card. This
it was-
I like how they made it tinier.
It was a monster.
Yeah.
I still wonder though. I still think 1500 might be a bit too high. Maybe 1250 is what I was thinking, but we'll see.
That's
It
how
might
much
drop.
the 295X came out at, and people paid it.
Oh, did it? Oh shit. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well,
Wow.
it dropped down to 700 fairly quickly. Like
Of
within
course, I guess the Titan Z was $3,000.
yeah, that's what they're saying right here. So and then I don't know that. Well, that was the dual Titan one, right?
Yeah, the dual Titan. Yep.
Yeah. Well, that thing's a monster too.
Yeah.
Well,
And it's not even liquid cooled, right? Wasn't the Titan Z was only air cooled, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it
Yeah.
had the single fan in the middle, right? If I'm
Yep.
correct.
Yep. That's right.
Dude, that thing probably sounded like a straight up like
Oh man.
yeah, like a like a hair dryer on high with a leaf blower stuffed in a microwave. Like the other thing must have been all sorts of noisy and staticky. Yeah. Oh.
I'd still love to try one. I'd still love to play with it
Oh
though.
yeah, no, definitely.
Man.
Touch expensive ass hardware all day.
Oh
That wouldn't be
boy.
a bad idea.
Shit
Yeah.
no.
So if they do good for AMD. We'll give them an applause. You know what I mean? But if
Well, they need to do
what
good.
case are they using? Is that like a custom one?
Yeah, I think it's a custom one.
I like it.
I was wondering that earlier. It looks like something
It looks
that
like InWin.
Yeah, it looked like something in InWin or one of them other boutique, like you would see in a Falcon Northwest or something. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. I mean, it's nice. You gotta love how they're using the X99
Main
platform
gear.
to test
main gear. There we go.
Test
yeah,
their
one of
shit.
the it's a main gear case
Main
or
gear.
company made
How much
it.
does it run for?
Oh boy, I bet it's not cheap.
Probably a couple $100. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice though. I like it.
Mhm.
I wonder, is that probably going to be a tempered glass side panel? Yeah, it is.
Yep. It looks like it could be tempered glass.
That's just straight up. They just straight up stole InWin's design on that case.
Mm-hmm.
GG. Good job. What is that? It just shows it with water splashing on it. That's a picture of it. Don't ever spill water on your graphics
Yeah,
card.
exactly. Yeah, that's not recommended right there.
All right, so we move on to the Amazon one.
Sure, this is interesting. I thought.
Oh, the picture with selfies, right?
Yep.
So I saw this and I immediately thought, how is this better than a password? And how is this more convenient? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because every time you want to put your password in, you got to take a selfie. I just.
And then for all of those people that are wearing your tinfoil hats, you know
Mhm.
damn well the government's getting their hands on every single picture you take to buy stuff. So now, if you ever buy something, the government's gonna be like, you bought it. We have your picture,
Yep.
confirmation picture when you were buying this. It was 100% sure you. So, but I mean, also Photoshop. I mean, you can make someone wink in Photoshop if you're good at Photoshop. You know what I mean? Like, how easy would it be to be able to? I mean, what if you did it while someone was sleeping?
Yeah.
Couldn't you buy shit like if they're passed out? Like, say you have a heavy sleeper. You know what I mean? You just take a picture of them while they're chilling there sleeping. But it says that there's gonna be like the winking face and the confirmation. You know what I mean? And that seems like a hassle. That's why I was like, okay, if you're gonna snap one quick photo and they figure out a way to make it to where there's like no lag time, you know what I mean? Like the processing time is really quick. Like you literally snap a photo and you're done. You can, you know, put your phone on silent or lock your screen and you're good to go. But you know that's not going to be the case. It's going to be snap a picture, then snap another picture of you winking, and then hit confirm. Pretty much. Or if they don't have a confirm button, that's kind of ridiculous. But they should have a confirm button, which is going to take longer than it would have just been to log into your PayPal account and hit buy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Or a lot of people have their PayPal account automatically linked to things like eBay and Amazon, which I don't suggest doing, but people do it. So, but yeah, What do you think?
If this took off, I would be surprised. It just seems a little too far out there for me.
Mm-hmm.
I know I won't be doing this.
No, I don't mind my password, right? My mix of, what do they make you do? Capital letters, numbers, lowercase letter, and some form of symbol. Nowadays, they got like the whole shebang. They make you go through that checklist.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I won't do it. You heard it from Mike. He's not going to do it. I don't think it's a good idea.
No.
I think it's a waste of developer time and money, honestly. But these companies got lots of money, man.
And you never know. Maybe this thing will take off, but I would just right now be like, I don't think so.
I don't know. And then they got the one chick here looking all nerdy and shit. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
But
oh,
yeah.
Look at me. I'm buying something.
Yeah, who the
Okay.
fuck's gonna selfie like that to confirm a purchase?
I know.
What happens if you're like hella sleepy and shit and you take one of those like just woke up nasty pictures to buy some shit? You know what I mean? Do you have to smile? Because in the picture down here, the guy's not smiling. And he's looking really creepy winking while not smiling.
I know, right? Yeah.
So I'm curious on what like the guidelines are gonna be. And like I said, I feel like this is gonna be more of a hassle than it is convenient. Like their advertising is, you know, an easy way, I guess, or security wise. I don't think it's a better security thing either. But yeah, it's funny. The things they come up with, man. Next, I think, is the Valve one. So Valve's upcoming desktop theater mode. So whatever happened to Steam OS? Is that still in production? Is that still happening?
I think it is. I've used it before.
Have you?
Yeah, it's
Questionable.
it would be so much better, and I've, 100 people have said this, if more games were supported in Linux. It's actually works well for the games that are supported, but not everything is supported. As soon as everything is supported, I think it would be great, and then because more people will develop for it, it'll become stronger, and then it'll be a snowball effect. But right now, when there's just not enough on there, you still got to have Windows.
Yeah.
You still got to have a Windows PC because you can't. I mean, even Mac. There's not a lot of Mac. You know, you can't just rely on Linux. Unfortunately, someday though, maybe this is going to be the way, and we can make a gaming PC and not have to have the Windows license. But
Yeah.
not quite yet. But SteamOS is pretty cool. I used it. It's not bad. It's really a lot like Ubuntu, but
Yeah.
it's just got the big picture mode on top of it. Is
Oh, okay.
what I felt
For
like.
the UI, it's
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But have you ever
okay.
played? Have you ever used big picture mode on Steam?
Occasionally just to see what it was. Honestly, I never really fully used it though.
It kind of reminds me of that,
It
or
reminds
even
me of like Xbox dashboard though when I did use it. It was kind of like
yeah,
having a
yeah,
console dashboard. You know what
yep,
I mean?
yep. It is. It does feel console-y. It does, yeah.
Well, this is their VR. So how do you feel about VR so far?
Man, I actually do feel good about VR.
Really?
If they can perfect it to where people aren't getting motion sick and you can actually
Well, they've already been working on that. I think they have like two 1440p monitor or pixels per eye, 1440p
Mhm.
pixels per eye at 95 or 90 hertz is what
I
they
use
found.
yeah
And
I
as
use
long as
the
there's no input lag.
yeah I used the Oculus a couple of years ago and it was okay.
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't want to use it for a long period of time because I felt a little disoriented. But maybe as the technology gets better, I haven't used the anything out or what their people are testing out now because
Yeah.
shit, that was 2 years ago at PAX. I think it was the DK2 is what I used, but I understand they're a lot better. And DK2 was okay. The resolution wasn't as great, and the motion tracking wasn't superb, but it was kind of neat to be inside of the game.
Yeah, I haven't got to try any, and honestly, I don't really do any sort of coverage when it comes to VR. And
Hmm.
it's because I don't. It's not that I don't care about it, and it's not like I don't want to try it or see where it's gonna go, but it's I don't. I want to wait till it's done, or at least further perfected. You know what I
I
mean?
agree.
Like I want it to be closer to being an actual thing. I don't want to sit there and get all super excited about something that's not going to show up for another 5, 10 years when it's actually affordable and usable. You know what I mean? Two main things: affordable, usable. First, they got to work on the usable, and as of right now, it's fairly usable with a ridiculous amount of sensors and wires, and extremely unaffordable at the moment. So yeah, I mean, like I said, it's getting better, and it's
Hmm.
nice to see it kind of taking off. But they've been riding this hype train since like what 3, 4 years ago.
I know.
You know what I mean? They're like, oh, VR is so close, and now it's still like, oh, we're still close, you know. But yeah, I want to wait until it gets perfected. But this is for Valve's desktop theater mode. So basically, you know, when you were saying their UI Steam game mode or whatever, apparently is going to let you play any Steam game in VR. That's what they're saying. So that would be cool if it's good.
If
But
yeah.
but what are you going to need to power these right now? Because running
Oh.
two 1440p monitors, you're not going to be able to at 90 hertz. You're not going to be able to do that on like a single 980 Ti unless it's like an older game.
Or you got to turn the detail settings
Yeah.
to low.
Yeah, or you're going to be playing medium low settings if you want to do a single 980 Ti. So it's gonna be better. What are these? The future. It's the future. Dragon Ball VR. Are you talking about like some Dragon Ball Z? Because that would be some sweet ass Dragon Ball Z fighting games. I remember playing it for the Wii when it first came out for the Wii, and you had to like do the Kamehameha with the controllers. That was the shit. I definitely like that. But yeah, I would wait till it's affordable. With he's saying the guy in there, same thing.
What do you think's affordable in your opinion?
Not $500. Honestly,
Yeah.
cell phones are too unaffordable.
Yeah,
I
I
can't
agree
believe
with
that they
that.
can charge $800 for a freaking cell phone.
That's stupid.
Yeah. So I mean, but you know, some people love their game apps. They like having the strong processors in their phones. You know what I mean? Because that's also gonna, you know, like my phone. This is like a Windows It's got Windows 10. I just got it. And it's a Windows 10 phone because I like Windows phones. And yes, the app market sucks for Windows really badly, but I don't use my phone for that stuff. I use my phone to be a phone. Text, email, phone calls. Occasional Netflix or something on it, you know what I mean? Or YouTube or something, you know, or Twitter app or something. But I don't need a whole lot for my phone, so I don't mind spending. This was $150, $200, something like that. So, but yeah, they have phones that are like $800, and that same thing. Wanting to spend $600 to $800, that's not affordable for me.
I agree.
I would say when VR becomes affordable is when you can pick a good one up for around $200 to $250. That's borderlining affordable for me.
For the headset is what you're saying, yeah?
Yeah, for the like the headset. And obviously working on the optimization and requirements to get them to not need $3,000 computers.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because if it's going to cost me $5,000 to play half of an unfinished game in VR, that's kind of ridiculous. You know what I mean? Because that's what it's looking at right now. You need an expensive-ass computer. You need the expensive-ass headset. You need... Some of them use sensors, like the ones where you walk around, like actually move around in the room and stuff. They need sensors all over your room. It's all wired. It's not wireless yet because they're doing, for the really good one at least, they're doing a one-to-one response time. So there's like no input lag whatsoever. But it's all wired. Obviously, having wireless is going to put in a lot of input lag. So yeah, I would eventually... Give me a time segment. DBVR. I don't know what that means.
I think it's Dragon Ball VR.
What is that?
You got me.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to Google that real quick and then get back to me?
Yeah,
I'll move on to the next one. But yeah, Steam VR looks awesome for the fact that you can play any of your games in VR. How I want to see how some of these games, like older games, like the older Counter-Strikes, Half-Life, and Portal would feel with VR. That'd be kind of cool. But I would like to see, you know what I mean, if it's worth however much money they're going to charge for one of those expensive little face helmets. But yeah, next is the one I got up is Xbox Live now supports cross-platform multiplayer with PS4, and it's supposed to say PC in there. I'm pretty sure they were doing PC as well. Yeah, and PC players. I'll start talking about this. So this is awesome because they already had started this with Final Fantasy XIV, Realm Reborn. Is cross-platform. So he just made 11. it. We got you over here Googling it. He goes, "Yeah, I got it. Dragon Ball VR. I just made it up." He's laughing. Oh, you got
shit.
trolled.
There's actually a website though.
Is there?
There's a Dragon Ball VR website. Yeah.
Wow.
DBVR is a virtual reality fanfic, and there's characters, and I mean, I think somebody's actually doing something with this. There's a website, so. It's mostly got ads on it. There's not much else going on, but there's something out here.
Yeah, something exists there. Okay, so we know that now. So yeah, stay away from that site though. There's probably a bunch of shit you don't want in there.
I know. I closed out.
So, but yeah, no. Anyways, what do you think about the cross-platform? Like I said, cross-platform between consoles, PC, and PS2 or PS4, PS2, consoles and all that. What do you think?
You know, the only time I've ever played console games like online, God, it must have been with a bunch of 12-year-old kids that just screamed and yelled at me. You know what I mean? So as long as people are civil, I think cross-platforming is fantastic. But I hated playing with a bunch of console fanboys and little bastards. You know what I mean? So if it meshes well, yeah, I'm cool with it because I'm an old gamer, so I'm not, you know, I don't play a lot, and yeah, like literally these 14-year-old kids were telling me everything. They were telling me curse words that I've never even heard before. And I'm thinking
that's your standard Call of Duty kid.
I know, and
under 16 talking hella shit.
Yeah, screw this shit. I'm gonna go back to PC. You know what I mean? And then I've never touched. That was back in the PS3 on the PS3. So then after that, I was like, screw it. I'll just go back to console or PC where I can, and I feel like I can better control my experience than I could on a console.
Well, it has to do with the community. You got to remember a lot of. Don't get me wrong. There's both on all platforms, whether you're console or PC. Yeah. You'll have the shitty players and the shit-talking players, the little kids and the grown-ass mature adults, the adults that aren't grown-ass and mature. you know they're all over the place, whether it's console. But the thing is when you're a parent and your kid says, I want something to game on, would you rather spend $300 on a console, or would you rather spend $800 on a gaming PC? Yep. And then what happens? They buy them a console. So yeah, younger kids usually have the console, and older ones will have the PC, is because usually when you get a PC, either you're spoiled if you are a kid and you have one, or at least your parents are doing well enough to be like, here's $500-$600, get yourself a gaming computer, or you're an adult like me or you, where we have full-time jobs and we can go out and buy ourselves a nice computer, you know what I mean? Because we worked for it. I'm a kid, 17, but but overall, I'm actually happy for it. Like I said, with Final Fantasy 14, Realm Reborn is already cross-platform from PS4 and PC. So that's already been happening for like, what, a year and a half? A year? Yeah. I don't know. It's been happening for a while.
It's been a while, yeah.
Yeah, and that's an MMO. And my brother likes it. My roommate is like obsessed with it, old roommate. So he has a PS4, by the way, no PC. Hey, there's nothing wrong with having it. I mean, honestly, nowadays, the new consoles, I was actually going to lead into this. The new consoles are basically computers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, sure. This has a high-powered AMD APU in it. Same with the PS4. Rocking DDR4 memory or DDR5? I think it's DDR5.
Yeah, GDDR5 in them. Yeah.
So AMD, they make a lot of the PC parts that a lot of people end up buying. So this is they're basically high-end, or not high-end, but good-end computers, you know what I mean? Granted, you can still outperform them with the most minimum of PC parts that are out today, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But at the same time, for being in a small box, low power consumption and all that stuff, and overall just being able to turn it on and play, you don't deal with the BS of viruses or anything like that, which if you're smart, I don't know why people complain about viruses, just don't download shady stuff.
Yeah, watch where you're going.
Yeah, but it's a good thing. I like it. I think it's cool. I will say this though, they got to be careful, dude. If they bring an FPS game cross-platform, the competitive side of it is going to be so terrible, because you're going to have these kids playing on a controller versus these kids using a mouse and keyboard. The people on PC will get accused of hacking like no other.
Oh. And
there will be hackers, probably. I wouldn't doubt it. But, I mean, I play Left 4 Dead 2, like I tell you that all the time, and Black Ops 3. I play it, like, not competitively, but I don't suck at that game at all. And I use a controller, and I'm fighting against people with mice and keyboard. And more than half the time, they don't even know I use a controller. They're surprised that I do, because I'm kicking their ass at the game. But yeah, no, dude, you're going to have people just, like, accusing the shit out of people of hacking from the PC community, because they have higher sensitivity, overall better control when it comes to aiming. It does. Mouse and keyboard definitely does. Yeah, it's easier to use than a joystick. So yeah, there you go, downloading some free software and complaining about viruses. Yeah, exactly. Torrenting Adobe Photoshop or something and you get a bunch of viruses. That's why you have viruses. Clicking on the link or the email that says, hey, you won a giveaway. Yeah, that's why you have viruses. I was like, I've had my computer going for a year and a half and I haven't had a virus on it. Nothing, no malware, nothing, because I don't download dumb stuff, you know what I mean? Just be careful with it. Or watch porn on your computer. You have a cell phone. Use your cell phone to watch porn. Now, it's not going to get a virus. Your computer will. So there's another thing. Or your tablet. You can use a tablet. But yeah, no, I'm happy for it. This seems like a good idea. I wonder what games they're going to be doing it with. You know what would be cool? Minecraft. If they cross-platform Minecraft. I don't know.
That one makes sense.
Does Sony have rights to use Minecraft on PlayStation or no?
Because I know, Minecraft's on PlayStation.
It is? Because I know Microsoft bought Minecraft.
Yeah, but there is because my brother-in-law, he plays Minecraft on his PS4.
Oh, okay. Well, that would be a really cool cross-platform game. Open up the console players' eyes to the community of PC for Minecraft, you know what I mean? Because there's so much things going on with Minecraft on PC that you just don't have access to on a console, honestly. What was the other thing? There's also, I guess we move on.
Minecraft is on everything. Windows, OS 10, Linux,
yeah, well, I know
Android,
it's on tablets.
iOS. Man, holy cow, yeah.
Microsoft bought it.
Wii U has it even.
Really? Huh. Wow, Nintendo?
Raspberry Pi has a Minecraft.
Wow. So everything has Minecraft. So that would be a
Yeah.
good cross-platform game, honestly.
Probably even a pocket calculator, evidently. Holy shit.
This also has to do with Windows 10 that's being, for the Xbox One. Apparently, they're going to be cross-platforming applications between PC and Xbox. So,
Yeah.
like, a lot of your standard desktop apps and certain applications can be used on an Xbox One, which is actually a really cool feature. And also for the developers, since Windows, we all know Windows Store sucks. I was just talking about Windows app market's terrible. You know what I mean? They're supposedly going to make it to where if you're like a developer for Windows and you like to make your own Windows apps, you don't even have to port it to work on an Xbox. It'll automatically just work. It'll just be compatible. So that's another cool thing. So if you make an app on your PC, you'll be able to grab it on your Xbox no problem. So that's something to look forward to as well, which Microsoft is doing pretty good right there. And,
yeah, did you see where they're trying to make they want to make an Xbox One upgradable, and PS4.5 is pretty recent as well too.
PS4.5?
Yeah, they're talking about like not going right to the PS5 or not going to the next Xbox, but they're talking about redoing the hardware inside the console because they're already falling behind what expectations were.
Well, requirements for new games.
Yeah, because they're not even hitting. They're not even able to keep it going for new games. They're having to downscale it.
Yeah.
And I've seen where Xbox is talking about making theirs upgradable and PS4.5. So that'll be interesting too. They'll be able to keep up a little better.
How long have you been doing your talk show? This is our second
number
episode.
2.
Yeah, this is number 2. I'm eating goldfish. Episode 2. I'm going to change the name of the stream. Number 2, eating goldfish.
Number 2, eating goldfish.
Yeah, so here's more Microsoft stuff, by the way. But that's actually the console thing with the upgrades. The upgrades are going to be expensive. It's still going to be kind of like how Macintosh has a hold on the shit. How Mac does it. To where you kind of have to buy their components to upgrade it, Mm-hmm. And it's going to be expensive. But then again, now you're just pushing into the realm of a PC.
It's just going to become more and more of a PC. I mean, they already have updates.
Mm-hmm.
They already have patches. They have downloads. I mean, people used to bitch about PCs because sometimes you'd log in and you'd have to download a patch. Well, so does consoles now. Sometimes you have to download a 5 gigabyte patch before you can even play the game. And it comes on a disc. It comes right to you on a disc. It's like, shit, the console is turning into the PC.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's not going to be
And that's
long.
not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing by any means. It actually, you wish the developers would actually make it better so it would be a console instead of being a PC, because it used to be all you have to do is put the game in and it works. Well, shit, now it's not. They're so sloppy. They're so sloppy with software.
I don't mind them getting closer to becoming computers because that means the game ports will be better and we won't have a redo of any of the Dead Rising or GTA 4 issues where the game just runs like terrible because the port sucks. Yeah. So hopefully it's not, that's the good part about the consoles getting higher tech in them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The porting's going to be basically, like I said, because they're making it the Windows 10 for Xbox more like a regular PC's operating system, it'll be able to run the games roughly the same. So hopefully the developers won't have a problem when it comes to porting. Our next topic is more Microsoft stuff. I guess they don't want to, but I think they're going to extend support for Skylake PCs with older versions of Windows.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, really, they should. I know they don't want to, but they should.
Yeah, well, I'll give them this. That's a lot of money spent on developers, constantly updating. A lot of money spent on all their stuff for the coding to keep them basically secure so they're unhackable from, other people trying to get your stuff, get into your computer. So it is a lot of work, especially on Windows 7, because Windows 10 is a better Windows 7 in many ways, but obviously, like you said, the privacy ways just are too much of a turn-off to want to change, the privacy problems. But I see where they're coming from as far as an expense and a business goes. You can't, you know what I mean? You can't waste that much money on something like that. But at the same time, I think they said Broadwell-based systems will be supported for Windows 7 up until 2020 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So people are like, well, why is Skylake going to go out on Windows 7 and 8.1 before Broadwell will? Well, because most people that have those older CPUs aren't upgrading to Windows 10. You know what I mean? I will say this. Skylake should at least be able to stay on Windows 8.1 until 2020, 2025. Or Skylake, I mean. Skylake should be on 8.1. Windows 7 can kind of go away because it's really old. But 8.
Have they announced if they're gonna? Sorry to cut you off, but have they announced when they're gonna stop support for Windows 7?
For Skylake, this is only for Skylake CPU.
Oh, just I mean, in general, like they did for XP, you know, because at some point they'll probably stop supporting Windows 7 altogether.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, it's saying that Broadwell is supported up until 2020.
Oh, 20.
Windows
Okay.
7.
Okay. Yep. I see where you're going. Okay.
Yeah.
I just got to read a little further.
Mm-hmm. And apparently Skylake will end later than its target. It was July 18th was the target, I guess, and they're gonna probably extend it another year to the 17th. Or no. I think it was extended to the 18th, and it used to be that it was gonna expire next year.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yep,
Yeah.
I got you now. Okay, I just have to read. Yeah, I didn't do any research on this topic, so my bad.
Well, basically what it is Skylake PCs aren't going to be supported for older operating systems, and people that own Skylake processors, I guess they're going to make special exceptions for companies like Dell. It says down there, basically because they ship some of their computers out with new Skylake processors. Why they're shipping these computers without Windows 10 is questionable. Simply because it's the newest one, and if you're a manufacturer, you should always want the newest hardware because your regular consumer's going to want that. You know what I mean? Like if I wasn't a PC gamer and all that shit, even though I am, if I was going to buy a computer, I'd want it to have Windows 10 on it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And so that's, I don't see why they would want to keep support for Skylake and Windows 7 too much, but there are people out there that don't like Windows 10 and refuse to move to it. So. But yeah, they are forcing you to upgrade. The force is happening.
Oh, here we got it. We got Brian's. What's a Skylake? Sorry if you already explained. Still in a lag. Okay, Skylake is the newest Intel architecture. There was like Sandy Bridge, Ivy Bridge, Haswell, the Broadwell, and then Skylake. So that's what they call their generations of CPUs, all the way back from, they've been doing it for a long time. Yeah, but yeah, that's their newest one is Skylake, and that's how they it's like, for example, this chip we're looking at here is an i7-6700K, so that's their Skylake, and then their like 5000 series was the Broadwell, 4000 was Haswell.
No, the 5000 was the Haswell Extreme Edition.
Oh, well, I thought they still called that like the 40. I thought it was
no,
still
5820K, 5960X, and 5960K.
Oh, on the X99,
yeah,
right.
The Extreme Edition.
Yeah, I guess that's true too.
Yeah, the 4000 was the i7s, and then when you backed up as to what you have, right?
I've got Ivy Bridge E. Yeah.
Oh, you have Ivy Bridge, okay.
Yeah, Ivy Bridge E, yeah.
Oh, so yours is fairly old.
Yeah, actually, I think it's 2011, 2012. Yeah, I got a fairly old processor.
It's not a problem. People still buy FX 6300s.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It does everything I need.
8320 came out in like 2011, so I mean, you're all right. People still buy those.
Yeah, it does more than I need, so I'm still gonna hold on to it. Of course, it was a $600. It was almost $600 processor when I bought it. So yeah. I want to hold on to that guy for as long as possible.
Yeah, no, definitely. Especially, I mean, the 5960K is around $600. So that's basically the one, I guess, replacing that one. Is it 6-core, right? 12 threads?
Yep, yeah. 6-core, 12 thread. All I just turn up the overclock a little more is what I do.
Mm-hmm. Well, don't you already run it at 4 gigahertz? That's
only 4, but I've heard of people getting like 4.6 out of it.
Well, here's the thing. If you have an Intel CPU that's hitting 4 gigs, it doesn't matter really if it's 4 years old, 2 years old, 3 years old. It's still going to perform extremely well.
Yeah, it's fast.
It's just how it's going to work. You know what I mean? You could take like a Broadwell or just Sandy Bridge like you have and overclock the living shit out of it. And if it's going to hit around 3.9 to 4.5 gigs, you'll be fine. You'll keep up with all the modern Haswell and Skylake stuff. As far as compute processing, you probably won't, but when it comes to gaming, you'll be fine.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it doesn't make a damn bit of difference in gaming. Yeah.
No, definitely not. But yeah, so we'll see what Microsoft wants to do. They don't want to do it. They're forcing people to upgrade to Windows 10. So just know that, you guys, if you have a new Skylake CPU on Windows 7 or 8.1 in the next year or two, you will be forced to upgrade to Windows 10. So yeah, have fun with that.
Yeah, because you're running Windows 10, right?
Yeah, I already run
Steven,
Windows.
yeah.
I don't
I'm
have to
still on
worry about
7.
it. Well,
I'm still on 7.
I'm also on a Haswell, so I'm
Oh,
pretty sure
okay,
that'll
okay.
keep. I'm pretty sure that'll keep Windows 7 support up until they stop supporting Windows 7 in general, like until they stop, doing any updates and shit for Windows 7, like what they did with XP. So yeah, next is the AMD Raptor. Have you heard of this? The gaming evolved.
Man, I'm
It's
bad
it's
on AMD
AMD's
side.
GeForce experience.
Yep, that's what I understand. I've used it before in some of the builds that I've done for other people that want AMD builds. I really am not a huge GeForce Experience fan nor a Raptor fan. I think they can be a little clunky, and I question if they actually don't slow things down sometimes.
I agree with you. I use GeForce simply to update my drivers.
Yep, I agree. That's it.
I keep GeForce around. Raptor, I know I uninstall the shit out of that if I accidentally install it. Like usually when you're doing the install, you can unclick the box if you do custom install. I usually unclick it, but if I forget to, I uninstall it. I don't like it. Yeah, it's like a GeForce experience that I don't really care for GeForce experience either. I simply use it to update drivers. But anyways, this is a cool feature that they're working on, which kind of brings back Raptor. It's called Raptor Gaming Evolved. So it brings it back because apparently now it's going to auto-save glorious moments.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So basically, it's going to be... This is why what you said is probably slowing stuff down, because you got to remember, this thing's keeping track of the game you're playing. So this thing's... It's triggered. What it's going to do is say you get a random triple kill in a game. You know what I mean? It'll save it. It'll be like, oh, that's a cool moment. Let's save that. You know what I mean? And it's triggered by the kills. So,
Okay,
yeah.
so it's actually paying attention.
Yeah, it's triggered by deaths, kills, bomb plants, kill streaks, etc. It's probably going to be mostly game specific because it's going to be it's going to be tuned to every game. You know what I mean? Because every game calls a kill different. Every game has different coding for that kill and stuff. So obviously they're going to have to integrate it into more games, but it's just Counter-Strike and League of Legends so far. That at least that it says in the fucking, what is this called, topic. So it looks cool. It's an awesome thing. So there's no editing. It literally just automatically saves that clip. I'm not sure what amount of time it saves before, like if it's okay, incredibly easy for editing, uploading. I think it takes about 30 seconds, and then you can just kind of clip it to wherever you wanted it to. Which is kind of cool. That's actually a really cool thing, because you know how many times you're running your recorder when something cool happens, but it's like an hour-long freaking recording, and you have to find that one moment that happened. You know what I mean? Or, for instance, you aren't running your recorder, and you have the moment, and it's like now there's nothing you can do. But personally, I don't like these. I don't like running shadow play.
Yeah.
It makes it laggy, like input laggy, like it feels like it's like stuttery. So I don't use gaming, I don't use the GeForce Shadow Play, and I don't use Raptor, but I thought this was a really cool concept. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's a great concept. I just wonder what it adds to the overhead of the system. That's I mean, if it doesn't add much overhead, it's possibly okay.
It's not going to add much more than just running what's it called, Shadow Play.
Right.
Because all it's doing is it's just recording. And then
as you play,
yeah, as you play, and it's always recording. It's just automatically dumping the files after, unless it gets triggered by that insta kill or something. Which that is probably, I guess, something you could say as far as overhead on the system, because it's going to be looking out for those triggers. You know what I mean? And it's going to be like interacting with the game to find out when those triggers are happening. But either way, very cool concept. Would you use it?
I don't know. On my game capture, I use the Elgato, but I suppose I probably would use this because sometimes setting up the Elgato is a pain in the ass anyway, and then you really gotta. So yeah, I would probably use
Oh,
this.
you use so
Yeah,
you don't use like a game recorder like action recorder or Fraps or anything?
I can't reach it from here. No, I use the actual, the the little
Yeah.
external box. Yeah,
Is it good?
that's I I like it. I've never had a problem. I mean, I find that I need two computers though to get the best out of it. One running the Elgato, and then obviously the one playing the game, and then it just is an
Even with your system?
HDMI pass through. I've never tried it on my system.
Come on.
But I imagine it will handle it just fine.
Yeah. I would hope so.
Yeah,
Well,
I just run it to my laptop. That way, I can monitor exactly what it's doing while still having a full screen gaming experience. And every once in a while, I kind of pop over and I just look at what it's doing.
I've been thinking about getting the capture card simply so I could plug my camera into it
Oh yeah,
and do
yeah.
camera capture.
Mm-hmm.
That way I can record directly to my computer instead of recording it to the camera.
Mm-hmm.
I've been thinking about getting one like that. Or for streaming, it's better to have a secondary computer set up to manage the stream hooked up with a capture card. That way you're gaming on one computer, streaming, and the other one's handling the internet connection for the stream and everything like that, as well as the rendering and encoding. But I've never done it. I don't know. I never pulled the trigger on buying one just because my computer streams just fine,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So, like I said, good idea. You have an Elgato, so you're probably not going to use this. I'm not going to use it because I don't have an AMD card. Neither do you. But even if Nvidia had something like this, yeah, like I'd agree with you. It feels a little too clunky to throw in your system while you're playing. I don't like how it feels. So,
But if this works out for AMD, I'm sure Nvidia is gonna do the same thing.
yeah, they need to hurry up and patent it
Yeah.
so they can sue each other. All right. So next, Intel may turn to AMD for Radeon graphics licensing.
Oof, that's gotta burn Intel, doesn't it?
Or Nvidia, you mean?
No, I mean Intel too, because they actually have to go to their competition. And
Well, no, they apparently
even though it's just for graphics, though, still Intel and AMD, there's got to be a little bit of
well,
there.
they've been playing really nicely lately, according to their this article. So what the problem is? Okay, so Intel and Nvidia have a licensing agreement between the two. Nothing really that they share or do anything together. It basically is to keep them from suing each other over dumb stuff. So they have this license agreement. Apparently, they've been fighting each other though the past few years. Their agreement is almost up, and Intel's been playing really nice with AMD lately. They've even been using their cards to test that little box they were hooking up to their Nooks and stuff. Remember the what was it called? You don't remember the box for the laptops?
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called, but I remember what you're talking about.
Oh, Razer Core GPU dock is the one that
Razer Core GPU.
that's the one that Intel's been working on.
Yeah,
So
okay.
So apparently Intel was even using AMD's GPUs in that instead of Nvidia's. So that's kind of another little poke at Nvidia, like screw you guys. So because they've been fighting with each other in the court over patent licensing, Intel might resign to AMD, which would be different. And the question I had to ask was, how would you feel about getting a Core i5 with like R7 360, R7 370 GPU built into it? Like
I just think that would be weird. I think.
But how cool would that be? Like if they work
Oh,
together.
yeah, it would be cool, but it just would be weird because I grew up in when it was big AMD against Intel. Way back, what was that? Probably 15 years ago when
AMD could actually win a fight.
Yeah, when AMD used to trump Intel, and I just think there was some bad blood then, and now Intel has just completely walked away from AMD. But there was a day that AMD processors actually were quite a bit better than Intel, and that was back probably in the Pentium 3, Pentium 2 days. But now, I mean, we haven't seen that in over a decade probably since pretty much the Core 2 Duo, really. And then as soon as that came out, that just started to take Intel to the above.
Well, yeah,
But so for me, for an older guy like me though, remembering the PS4, Xbox One fanboy, there used to be the Intel AMD, and it was always the AMD was beating the Intel. So it was just interesting for me as an older guy to come into it now going, oh my God, now they might even share the same thing. That's just crazy.
Well, I don't think it's not necessarily a share. It's just a licensing agreement, basically.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it allows them to work together. I
Yes, definitely. But that's what I was saying. If they got friendly enough and worked together, how awesome would it be if AMD integrated their APUs and got rid of Intel's HD graphics?
It would be great, and it would be great for the consumer. Great for the consumer.
Yeah,
as well,
if you could, because I mean, yeah, the APUs are awesome. Don't get me wrong. We were talking the 7850K is a good CPU. Now imagine if the cores were stronger, like an i5, and in a couple years they should be able to fit a stronger GPU in there or APU side. Imagine having something like I said, like an R7 370. You know what I mean? As far as graphics power, and
fantastic.
then an i5 as far as CPU power. You know what I mean? Or even an i3. You know, and those chips could easily sell for $200. People would buy them because that's a CPU and a very capable GPU. You know what I mean? So well, that would be cool if that ever happened. Of course, this is just us just dreaming. But you know,
it's right in front of us. This could happen.
Yeah. Yeah, well, basically what's happening is they're playing nice, which is something different. And like I said, when they were doing the test for their internal GPU or their external GPU, they used AMD's graphics cards and not NVIDIA's, which is a very big punch to the face for NVIDIA because they're basically partnering with NVIDIA a lot of the times. So, starting that bad blood. Alrighty, next up. Dominoes. So you can go ahead since you were looking at this one and didn't choose it. I want to see what you think.
I friggin' love it. I mean, you know, there's something to be said about robots where they're potentially taking people's jobs. You know, that I understand that point of it, but I mean, I used to deliver pizzas when I was in high school, and I made good money in tips But there was places that were a little freaky to go to. You know, you hear about sometimes they get assaulted now, pizza delivery people. That's not happen a lot, but this would eliminate the assault. Although somebody, I guess, could come out of their house with a shotgun and shoot the damn thing.
That has happened.
Yeah.
What was it? Yeah. That was like 5-6 years ago. A guy jumped out of a bush and shot a pizza delivery guy and robbed him. Yeah. Like he straight up ordered. This was back before. The manager got fired, I think, too, the Pizza Hut, for not confirming that it was a address that someone lived at.
Oh, yeah.
They had him delivered to an address, a vacant home. Someone pops out of the bushes, shoots him, and takes all his shit. And he killed the guy, too. The guy had a family.
Yeah.
So
and a robot is always going to be more disposable than a human life. So in that respect, this would probably be safer for humans, even though it will eliminate a few jobs. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the tip money was good when I was younger. I don't know if it still is. I don't know if people tip the pizza delivery guy, but I mean, I do because I was one once. But I just think this is really neat shit. But I also like the Amazon drone too. The delivery of a drone bringing something to your house. I thought that was pretty cool too. You know, so I don't know. I think this is kind of I like this idea. I do.
Yeah. No, there's there's a video and I was playing it, and I paused it at the right moment because I swear to fucking God, there's a microwave inside of this robot.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't doubt that.
No, like it's not the one that's delivering, like the cool one. So that's just a concept design. That's not. It's the actual robot, but it's not like it's actually delivering a pizza to a customer. It was mostly done as a concept. But if you watch the video down there, it's basically showing like the robot and prototypes of the robot and where it came from. At 47 seconds, if you pause it at 47, you'll see that there's a freaking microwave in the back of this damn whatever.
There is
robot.
Yeah, there's a freaking microwave right there in the back of the robot.
Yes. And it's got a smiley face made out of lights. So apparently this thing's got like really good pathing. It can see obstructions in its way and maneuver around them. It can plot its safest route to its destination. And I don't I don't really care for it. You know what I mean?
You don't?
Uh I feel like it's not worth the effort.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah. A lot of effort, a lot of money goes into this for sure.
yeah, I mean, think of like the amount of time and effort and money spent on getting this thing to know where it's at, know where the sidewalk is, know where the street is, know where obstacles are, know the quickest route. What happens if someone steals it?
Yeah.
Like, I know it's gonna have GPS on it, but dude, you know damn well someone's gonna get their hands on these, find a way to disable the power to stop the GPS from working. They're gonna steal it while they're driving away in the back of the truck. It's just gonna lose signal because they're gonna turn it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of, not the tinfoil hat guy saying that they're gonna take over the world, but I'm just kind of saying like, it's a lot of money invested into that, and a lot of time. Like the world's greatest minds figuring out how to get your pizza to you. A microwave.
I guess when you put it, yeah,
it's a
when you put it
microwave
that
with
way.
wheels. You know what I mean? There's so much better things that could have been put to use than this. It's like those damn hoverboards. It's like a Segway is more useful than this thing. It is
I guess
terrible.
you know when you put it in that perspective, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, I guess you could see this as a big waste of time.
Right?
Yeah.
So a guy walks in and they're just like, "Oh yeah, what have you done with your life?" "Oh well, I spent 20 years going to the greatest schools, masters in robotics and engineering, and so what'd you do with all that?" "Oh, I designed a robot for Domino's to deliver pizzas to people." I wouldn't.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Or you know what? It's not just one guy. You're probably right. There's probably 200 people working on
Yeah, a
this
team.
with college degrees.
Yeah, a team of people's like, "Oh, that's $100,000 worth of schooling down the drain. I designed a robot with a microwave in it to deliver pizzas."
When you put it in that perspective, now I'm starting to see. Yeah, that is true.
It looks terrible. It looks like those little things you buy for kids.
Mm-hmm.
Those little toy robots. You know what I mean? Like rad robots and stuff. Back when I was a little kid, they had wheels, and they would just they would actually listen to you, and they came with a remote control in case you had to control them. It looks like one of those. I don't know. I think it's too much. Too much.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, would you let this thing come to your house if it was delivering your pizza?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
But I agree. I agree with what you're saying. It's kind of a waste of effort, perhaps. But I'd probably let it come to my house.
How long is it going to take this thing to get to you, moving at like 3 miles an hour if you're ordering a pizza from a place that lives 10, 15 minutes away?
That's what the microwave is for. It microwaves your pizza to keep it warm.
Yeah, but a lot of people like to order pizza and have it within 20 to 30 minutes, not an hour and 20 to 30 minutes. So
this thing would probably not work, especially in Montana with the snow and everything else.
Oh, there you go. I didn't even think about weather.
Yeah, when it's minus 20 degrees below zero outside, this thing probably isn't going to do very well.
No. I didn't even think about the weather. It's going to rain in all over the place,
Rain,
trying to get through snow. You're much better off raising the salary of your friggin' delivery drivers.
Exactly, and then dumping this in the garbage.
Yeah, the millions of dollars you spent on this, you should have just paid all your delivery drivers $1.50 more. Yep. Honestly.
Yep, that's a good point too. Yeah, and how many of these, like you said, if they got stolen, they're not going to be $1,000. They're going to be tens of thousands of dollars each. In production.
I would say probably millions of dollars each.
I mean, they get it down.
I'll say tens of thousands of dollars, 10 to 15 years from now.
Oh,
you know
okay,
I mean?
there you go.
But because it's new,
it's
new today, these things are expensive as shit. I mean, the technology's new, the software's new, the engineering, everything. That's all new stuff. That's going to cost a lot of money. Obviously, the government, and it showed some footage of it, being used in military situations and by the Marines and stuff. Obviously, we know that the government's had their hands on this for 5 or 10 years before they release it to the general public, but it's new to us. And since it's new to us, I just put my tinfoil hat on for a second.
Yeah.
Because it's new to us, these things cost lots and lots of money. So, impractical, stupid. Domino's, you're wasting your money. Please stop.
I kind of think it's funny, but yeah, I would say I'm leaning towards you now after listening to your reasoning. Yeah, it is impractical.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, unless you live a block away from a Domino's, they're how are they going to get it to your house in time? Every pizza they deliver is going to be free and cold. And it's
they'll
like,
have to change their slogan. It'll have to be your pizza in 2 hours or it's free.
you know how much money they'd have to spend on repairs for one of these? You know damn well every time that thing rides by a teenager, he's going to hit it with a skateboard or something.
Yep.
They're going to punch it or try and kick it over or something. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then just run off. And that's like in a best case scenario that someone doesn't try to steal it and load it up in their truck. Yeah. So
it's gonna have to go for like 40 miles an hour to get away from people.
Yeah. So anyways, we'll move on. Move on to the last topic of the day. T-Mobile. So I saw this one and I had to.
Oh, I agree. I saw this too and I was like, what? And then I clicked on it and I'm like, oh yeah, we have to talk about
T-Mobile
this. This
porn.
is insane.
T-Mobile
insane.
porn. Okay, so you go first then, since you want to talk about it too. Let's see.
This is another one of them. What kind of a world are we living in when their marketing is on? You're going to be able to get unlimited porn on the T-Mobile network. I mean, of all the things they could say, they say unlimited porn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, what in the hell is going on here? That we're that worried about it that we're gonna buy a cell phone just solely on the fact that, hey, when I'm out in the middle of nowhere or when I got a few minutes, I'm gonna get on my fucking phone.
Well, remember what I told you?
One off.
Use your phone for porn, not your computer, because it's gonna get less viruses that way. But yeah, to be fair, when they did announce, apps that were coming to this, so they finally got Google to sign on with them. Do you know what their T-Mobile Uncarrier thing is?
I've heard of it.
Their
yeah,
$20. It's $20, $20 or $30 a month or something like that. Basically, it lets you have an unlimited amount of streaming that doesn't count towards your data for certain apps.
Yeah, certain things. Right,
yeah.
right.
So like say you stream or you watch way too much YouTube to where you're eating up like 30 gigs of data a month, Now that YouTube and Google Play has signed with them, it will not count against your data for T-Mobile. And then they also said Me Candy will be there as well. So Me Candy is an online X-rated app store and streaming service. Starting now, T-Mobile customers who also subscribe to Me Candy Theater can get DVD quality porn streamed to T-Mobile's networks for free. There we go. Me Candy Theater is $20 a month. That's actually not bad for unlimited porn. Like if you need lots of porn, $20 a month isn't bad. You know what I mean? And it's unlimited HD streaming to your phone. Like that doesn't count against your data cap. Do you know how much porn people are gonna watch?
I can't. Holy shit. Well, I can definitely tell then this will be a push for the phone screens to be even bigger, I imagine as well, too.
Yeah, now everyone's going to have a freaking phablet. At least every guy. I don't think the women are too interested.
Yeah, you're probably right, yeah.
It's mostly guys. So anyways, the CEO of Me Candy, of the app, said T-Mobile is treating adults like adults. That's what he said. And that's fine. It's fair. Well put. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong against porn. Everyone has to watch it eventually.
Oh, yeah, I agree,
So,
yeah. There's definitely nothing wrong with it. I just think it's funny that this
it's definitely
this is a thing.
A you know what I mean? Like a big mainstream company is basically promoting pornography. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, like I said, there's no real shame in that. I'm kind of curious though. Do you think that kind of porn? Do you think that like T-Mobile's going to be like, you guys can't show that really creepy shit? You know what I mean?
Oh,
do you think
what?
they're going to filter it? You think they'll filter the porn? Like, hey, no golden showers, no steamrollers. You know what I mean?
I bet they don't. I bet as long as it's legal,
yeah,
they wouldn't do anything. You know what I mean?
No 2 girls, 1 cup. You never know. They might. I'm curious if they softened it up a little bit. You know what I mean?
I bet it's hardcore. I bet it's the whole deal. Otherwise, people are gonna get pissed off. I think. Yeah. So I bet they're all in.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I mean, it's already porn. It's already XXX. Why would you soften it?
Well, I don't mean soften it, but I mean, there's some porn out there, man, that is just borderline that is past the borderline of weird. You know what I mean? People have some weird fetishes. I mean, it's past the whole lube up your feet and fuck it. It's past that. Like, you know what I mean? There's some really weird stuff out there. So I'm wondering if they want to filter that stuff out. You know what I mean? Like this dude's dumping on this girl's chest. Let's filter that. You know what I mean? I'm wondering out of the box porn is what I'm wondering if it's filtered, because that would be funny.
There you go. Yeah, out of the box. Right.
Yeah, not your standard, gangbang porn and stuff like that. I'm talking like the real gritty stuff that you have to go to a really dark place on the internet to find. They don't even take people's credit cards.
Not that we're saying there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah, nothing against you guys that like that stuff, but I'm just curious. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's our last topic, and I thought that was a pretty funny one. I have T-Mobile. I do not have T-Mobile Binge, nor do I have Me Candy. I kind of want to get it to see if they filter it now. Like maybe I should do a month subscription to see if they filter it. I'll let you guys know next week.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna come back. My eyes are all. I got bags under my eyes. One arm's really, really buff.
Yeah.
I look like my hair's all fucked up. I haven't slept in like 4 days. Yeah, so I mean, I'm curious. Maybe I'll Google and look up into it and let you know later on.
Yeah, there's your homework, right?
Yeah, that would be pretty fucking funny. So that's pretty much it for our topics. Anything you want to top off? Anything about that we might have missed? If you want to take a quick look through them. Any last thoughts?
No, everything looks good to me. Yeah. I just think we had a couple of really funny ones this time. I really enjoyed them. Yeah.
Yeah, especially, no, I tried to look for some funny ones.
I like that. Spice it up a little bit.
Exactly. Well, I mean, it's not fun if we're not having fun, and sitting here laughing and bullshitting for an hour is what we came here to do. So, obviously let's talk about tech things, but it's mostly just our opinion on stuff. None of this is fact or fiction. I mean, obviously there's facts related to these, but our word isn't law, But yeah, so I think that's all. So you got anything else you want to say? You got to go back to work after this?
No, I'm actually going over to my in-laws' house for dinner. Okay. But no more work for me today, thank God.
The wife's parents? Ooh,
yep. Yeah, I get along with them. I like them.
Okay. You're not...
Yeah, I get along with them. Yeah, I got good in-laws.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's not bad. Well, yeah, so you work all week next week again?
Yeah, I am going to take, I do have next Sunday off, so I work all the way straight through to next Sunday, but, because, of course, we're closed for Easter, so.
Do you guys have any employees?
23.
Oh, you guys have, like, in hires. So what are you like do you just do like the regional managers type job or GM job, or do you do every type of management position?
Basically GM, basically. I do basically GM, definitely all of the IT. I do the payroll, the accounting, stuff like that.
Oh, okay. And then you just hired like a floor manager to kind of monitor all the other employees for you. Hey, see, how's it feeling being a big boss?
There's times that it's extremely rewarding, but you're always on the bottom of the totem pole as well, too, because when people call in sick, that's why I've worked probably 20 days in a row just covering random things. So that's the downside of it. Although when it works out for you and on the good weeks, you don't work that much and you still get paid a lot. So, it's different. And dealing with people, though, is sometimes hard as well, too. Yeah,
I feel you there. Trust me.
You got 23 people's problems every day, so I mean, it kind of makes you a little bit thick-skinned, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
there's worse things to do.
Yeah, no, there definitely is. I can agree with that one. I mean, what is it? They have professional poop picker-upper guys out here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the guys that go around picking up dog shit from pets. Yep. That's a pretty shitty job. Like, quite literally. Trash. I heard the trash company pays them really well for the trash man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I mean, that doesn't.
Good money.
Yeah, that doesn't look very fun. And then you have people that are weird. Like we have people out here that just drive around and go through your trash every trash day with a truck. And
really?
They always take weird things like washers and dryers and refrigerators, like old appliances and random stuff, and I guess they just sell them or some shit.
Oh, clean them up, refurbish them, and sell them?
That or just trade them into somewhere that collects parts and metal. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Depending. I honestly don't know. I hate to say it, but they don't speak English. They're usually Mexican.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, you have those kinds of people that I mean, that job doesn't look too fun either.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to do it. But yeah, so I guess we'll shut it down, and it'll be a fun week for us. We've got a long week ahead of me, at least. I'm pretty sure you do too, since you were saying. So
Are we gonna try to, being that Easter is next Sunday, are we gonna try to still go for it? You want to?
I do not mind if you don't.
Yeah. At this point, I don't see any issues with it, so I might have to do it a little later. But I think maybe we'll do it 1 hour later next week, and then I can get my Easter dinner with the family out of the way.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. Because
yeah.
me, we don't really do too much of an Easter dinner here. So it's me, my brother, and my mom do. We have dinner together almost every night, so it's not a big deal.
Oh,
so,
yeah, perfect, right.
Yeah, so no, yeah, if you want to just give me times, well, you can talk about this after the stream. But anyways, we say bye to everyone so I can end the stream.
All right, bye. We'll see everyone next week.
Bye, guys. Tune in next week.
All right, have a good night.